And we're rolling.
We are. We're rolling.
Rolling.
We're on. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of What Lurks on Channel X.
How you doing?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
How you doing? How you doing? Couple haters? A couple haters? How you doing? So, it is October.
It is.
It is October.
It is the month of Halloween.
It is Halloween month.
October no longer exists. It is now called Halloween.
This is the second day of Halloween, October.
Second day of Halloween.
As of recording, it is the second day of Halloween.
Yes.
Break the fourth wall.
That's right. And I say that because we have another episode that we recorded that was going to happen this week. But I think we might put this one up first. So when you get to next week's episode, understand that it was out of order, much like the X-Files show.
Yes.
Yes.
They told me about that while we were riding over here. And it was like...
He still doesn't understand.
I still don't understand what was going on.
Being the second day of Halloween, we're eating pumpkin munchkins.
And pumpkin iced coffee.
And pumpkin iced coffee, and I'm smoking my cloves. I don't know what Eric's doing. Eric's wearing a boomstick t-shirt.
He is. I am boomstick
Double stout.
Oh, man, we're going to have to get you for the 31 days.
What?
We're doing 31 days of horror t-shirts.
Oh, are we?
Yeah. So follow us on Instagram to check out all of our awesome horror
I don't think
t-shirts.
he has 31.
I don't think I
on.
have 31.
He's going to have to wear the same, 3 shirts for a month straight.
You're going to have to do that.
Yeah.
That's sex
and
you're gonna have to
and 2/3 of them are Ash t-shirts.
Can't help you there, buddy.
Can't help you. I mean, you'll be set for Ash Wednesday, but...
Wow, that was a good one.
Ooh.
That was good. That was good. I like that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So
yeah, follow us on Instagram to check out all of our awesome horror
Yes,
t-shirts. I don't think
hashtag-
we've ever shared our t-shirts, our Instagrams.
Hashtag 31 days of horror t-shirts. And you'll see us and a bunch of our friends who all do this. This is, you'll catch us. Literally, I actually clicked the hashtag on Instagram earlier. And the first 100 posts.
Our people we know.
Yes. Are personal friends of ours. It's mostly
That's how
Tiffany.
we roll.
It's mostly Tiffany because she's got a different horror shirt for every day of the year.
Oh yeah.
Every single fucking. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. You follow her. You look at her Instagram, and the entire feed is her T-shirt for the day.
Yeah.
She has a ridiculous. I swear to God, she's never worn the same T-shirt twice.
This is the Tiffany that was in Blood Slaughter Massacre.
No. Tiffany, which is at Instagram at Nails Never Fails. Right? Nails Never. I don't remember now.
Yes.
Nails Never Fails. Is amazing, and you should follow her because she has incredible t-shirts, and one day I will get skinny enough that they will fit me and I will kill her.
You'll kill her and take her collection.
Yes.
Okay.
Really?
And I'll have duplicates, ladies, so get ready.
All right. So yes, that's our.
Love you,
that is our.
Tiffany.
So we have 31 days of horror T-shirts, 31 days of Halloween. 31. I have 265 days of Halloween. 365 days of Halloween.
I was going to say 265.
Excuse me. Yes,
couple
that's
days
one of my
off.
favorite hashtags. 365 days of Halloween.
We also do horror movie a day, horror-thon.
Yeah, so guys, get involved with that one. You know what? 31 horror movies, 31 movies of Halloween.
I'm gonna because this shirt I haven't seen any place. So you'll set me up with that later.
I'm just
Yeah.
going to take a picture right now. And I'll
There you go. There you go. This live photo taking. Okay, so now
you're
you'll
blown out as hell. You can't even see your face.
use a flash.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I don't want to
So-
give the boy a seizure. Are you ready?
We are tweeting, Instagramming right now.
Right now, live.
Right now. So if you guys check out our Instagram at Massgrave and Massgravette, our Instagram pages, you'll see the wonderful Eric and his boomstick double stout T-shirt. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome.
It is. It is a lot.
I wore this.
Although I gotta say,
Yeah.
there's a missed opportunity in that T-shirt because it says Klaatu Verada Nick. Why doesn't it say Klaatu Verada Nectar?
Oh, because he didn't say that while he was.
So what? It's a beer. He didn't sell beer.
That's true.
He worked in housewares.
Listen, I wore this at a beer fest, and
it was a hit.
It was a hit. It was just everybody stopped me, and it was like, oh, hey, check that shirt out.
Yeah.
Where did you get that? At a horror convention.
At a horror convention. Where at horror conventions, you know what you see a lot of at horror conventions?
T-shirts?
Besides T-shirts, there's a guy we know who dresses up like John Wayne Gacy.
Okay.
Interesting costume. And there's and we see Pennywise costumes. There's
That's
a lot of Pennywise costumes.
Yeah, the clowns are always popular.
Yeah. So segue. I just throw it out there.
Throw it out there.
Throw it out there. Segue into our subject for the day.
Wow, there are 6 public posts about Boomstick Double Stout. Just as a fun fact.
You're not alone, buddy.
You're not alone. I'm going to hook you up with them.
You got
We're
6
gonna
other
connect
people.
Yeah.
Doing this live.
There you go.
I have an Instagram.
I'm going to tag you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sort of my job. That's why I'm
okay.
doing this.
Erik, what is your Instagram handle?
Here, that's...
I know you. We're friends. You have to say it on the podcast. Say it in the microphone.
I have to say it on the...
He shows here. Here's my screen.
I'm like, here's my handle. I have to say it on the microphone.
This isn't a video podcast, buddy.
Erik 1214.
Erik
ERIK 1214.
What's the 1214?
My birthday.
How unoriginal can you be?
God,
That
what kind of friend are
unoriginal.
you?
All right.
That's how unoriginal.
Now I know what his birthday is. So yeah. So there you go. Massgravette, and Erik 1214 with a K.
Yes, Erik with a K.
Erik with a K, 1214.
Yeah.
Yes. So there was we did another podcast. We did another show, and the podcast was on witchcraft, which is a great subject that I loved discussing. But this is something that is a very current subject.
It's relevant. It's in the news presently.
Yes.
And I find it's frightening but funny.
I love it. It's like a horror movie come to life. It's like this is the type of thing you only see in movies, and this is happening in reality.
Yeah.
Now, like as we were talking to you, you said this is silly that people are fucking crazed and afraid of these people dressed as clowns, but there is a reason why they are afraid. Why it is causing the fear that it is.
Right.
Besides the irrational fear of clowns, which we all feel is quite irrational, because why would you be afraid of something that silly looking? It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
Well, I personally think that it's all rooted with the killer clowns from outer space and the popcorn guns.
Everybody says it's from It.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
He was joking.
I was joking, with the killer clowns from outer space.
No, because I've never seen.
Gun,
I've
right?
never seen.
Yeah,
It.
they came in this tent that was a spaceship.
Amazing.
No. It's the Stephen King novel. It.
Yeah,
and
she'd never seen the movie.
I'd never seen it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I have to watch it." And everybody was like, "No, I can't watch that." And I'm like, why? They're like, no, that's shit that fucked me up for life. I don't even like clowns anymore because of it. No, I can't.
You know what?
And I kind of watched it, and then I was like,
I watched it years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a youngin' when I watched it.
Yeah, I watched it when it was on.
Yeah.
It was a 2-night thing.
It was a made-for-television movie.
Yeah.
And
how
the first
scary
night was
could
great.
it have been?
Well, the first night was great. First night was good.
The first half
really
I
good.
think was great.
First
I
half
really
is
enjoyed
excellent.
the first half.
And then we flipped the disc over because the DVD we have is before the dual layer disc. thing.
Yeah, okay.
We actually
that was
had to-
inconvenient.
It was very inconvenient. We actually had to flip the disc. Coincidentally, of course, less than a month after I bought the DVD, the Blu-ray is released now. Could have bought the Blu-ray for $10 because I've never owned it before either. I just bought the DVD because she'd never seen it. I was like, well, it's not on fucking Blu-ray, so fuck, I'll just buy the DVD, and it's the same old DVD from 20 years ago DVD release.
But you know what? Really funny.
Now the Blu-ray comes out for $10. It didn't have to flip the disc. It probably would have looked a whole lot better too. It might even be in widescreen because the DVD was full screen because it's a TV thing. Who knows? Maybe the Blu-ray is widescreen. I might actually watch it again just to see the extra scope, but you don't have to.
I'll watch the first half.
Yeah. Well, there's
I'll
no
go to
first
bed.
half now. Now it's one solid
I'll
thing.
go to bed right after that.
Yeah, once the guy kills himself,
Yeah,
once
then I'm
the
out.
kids vanquish him in the first half, that's it. Go to
Then
sleep.
I'm gonna peace out, home slice.
Yeah, 3 hours. I don't think you'll make it the whole time
I
anyway.
won't.
But the second half is absolutely terrible. I remember watching when it was on. The first night was good. I watched it the second night, and I was wondering, is this the same movie? Like the actors are here, but is this the same? It's so terrible. It's almost like it's an entirely different movie.
Now, see, it's funny. Now, when we were talking about this with our neighbors at the barbecue after you left, she's a huge Stephen King fan. Loves Stephen King, reads all his books. I borrow them from her a lot. Thanks, Sherilyn. Anyway, so we were talking to her about it. Just happened to be, topic of conversation. And she was like, I love that movie. It was so good. And we're like, when was the last time you watched it? Because it's not good.
Like,
So
if you
we
watched it
start
when you were
talking to her.
10, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's when I watched it,
Yeah.
approximately.
But
you
I didn't
know?
like it then either.
Well,
But, you know, I'm just a critical asshole, I guess.
So we're talking to her about the whole second half, and she's looking more and more confused as we're going on and on about this.
is that not the movie she was watching?
Turns out she doesn't think she ever watched the second half.
She never flipped the disc.
Oh, she
never
didn't flip the disc. That's even worse. She's like, what are you talking about?
She thought the movie was
Totally.
over.
No, the kids all grew up and,
Yeah, we're like,
and,
the
and
kids grew up,
whatnot.
and she's like, I don't remember this. And we were like, clown at the end, there's a big spider. She was like, no.
It's really funny that happened because it was a guy. Who the hell was I talking to? Horror Show Jack about Dexter, and he thought it was great. He's like, "Oh man, it was really good."
The ending of Dexter was amazing. We're like, what the fuck is wrong
What are
with you?
you kidding me?
Yeah.
The lumberjack.
I don't know if we can be friends anymore.
The lumberjack was fucking great. He's like, "What lumberjack?" Turns out, seems like he fell asleep, like on like the 5th or 6th episode of the last season, right before the hurricane starts.
Oh, he just drove off into the hurricane.
He fell. No.
Spoiler alert.
No, before that, even before that, before the hurricane thing even began, he killed that last guy or whatever it was. I
Right.
don't remember specifically. There was a point where it could have been over right then and there, and then it takes a turn and it gets crazier, you know. And he fell asleep there. His girlfriend apparently continued watching while he was asleep and finished it.
So his
And
Netflix account marked it as red. Watch.
So he's never watched
he had
it.
no idea.
He had no idea.
And he
Like
has
another-
no
he had another
idea
4
that there's
episodes or
anything left because it's all checked off.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh no, I've watched it all."
It was
Yeah.
good. He said it was good. It didn't really make too much sense. Like it just kind of, but he's like, it was good. I liked
It just
it.
abruptly ended.
Yeah.
Okay. But there was still
I was
6
like- I was
episodes
like,
left.
But the fucking hurricane. He's like, what hurricane? The hurricane and the funeral. Who died? What? I was like,
No, then his girlfriend steps into the conversation, and we're like, the hurricane.
she's like, yeah, the hurricane.
Yeah, the hurricane.
Because even she said no, the ending was terrible. And he's like, what are you kidding me? I loved it. It was great. I wanted a little bit more, but it was good. And I said, you really you enjoyed the lumberjack thing? What
lumberjack thing?
That's what he said. What lumberjack? I was like, are you sure you watched this? Are you sure? I don't even know if he watched the last season. He may have ended at the end of the previous season, and she just kept watching. He might have not watched any of the last season.
He may. What were they? It was on for 7 seasons,
Something like that. Yeah, I don't think he watched any of
Any
it.
of season 7.
And he's like, wait, so you're telling me that I slept, you watched the rest of it and didn't tell me. She's like, well, I just assumed you were going to watch it on your own.
It's a pretty big assumption. If you've been watching a show with somebody for all of that time, you're going to save it for me. But
It's just one of those relationship things, you know? Like, you either watch it together or you watch it separately.
Like Preacher.
Yeah.
He's like, episode 7. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'm not on 7. I just know I'm on to like 5 or 6 or something like that.
You just
said
know
you
what happens
finished
in episode
You
7.
said you finished it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
oh my God,
Yeah, you did.
this is
I
something
hate you.
I have nothing to. I watch all my television by myself.
For the love of God.
So I really don't have to worry about these things.
Yeah.
I know exactly where I'm at.
But yet you still haven't watched The Hateful Eight, even though that Blu-ray has been sitting in front of your TV for like 3 months.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Every time I go to your house, it's sitting
sitting
right
right there.
there, and you're like, I still haven't watched it. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
You're anyway, clowns.
Clowns.
Clowns?
Fucking clowns. It's irrational, the fear that people have of them. Clowns are, they're amusing things you see at circuses, at carnivals, and such like that. But for some reason, and it's happening now,
Yeah.
and more, people are dressing like clowns, holding balloons and standing out by the beaches and in the forest parks, and
And they're acting like creeps.
they are.
I think that's hilarious. I do.
It is.
I think it's absolutely hilarious.
It is.
But there's more to it than that.
There is.
There is apparently a lot more to it than that. And we're going to get into that today. And
We
we're
are?
going to tell you people, we're going to tell everybody about how the irrational fear of clowns may actually be quite rational.
I think it's irrational, and you have to justify it with me.
I will,
You will.
after the break.
Okay, then. I almost died!
It's funnier when I said it.
Yeah, when you said it, it wasn't real. I almost died!
It wasn't real.
Right out the window.
Right out the window, I
Now,
almost fell.
Manny's threatened to throw a couple people out the window, but that's
He almost
probably
threw
the
himself out the
closest-
window.
I almost fell out the window trying to do something for Manny. I
What a
almost
friend.
died.
What a friend. You see, this level of commitment is...
Honestly, who else does what I'm doing?
I don't know. I've tried to throw Mario out a couple of times, but
I'm surprised Louis hasn't yet.
Louis, that I haven't thrown Louis out the window.
Try to write a scene that we were going to throw Louis out a window?
Well, it wasn't Louis because he's not an act. He wouldn't. He refuses to act. But you know,
But he's so pretty.
so clowns, huh?
Yeah, clowns.
I think what I really want to do is I want to first start off with a little bit of history. All right. As it turns out, this recent rash of clown sightings is not the first.
Yeah, it's not something that's recent.
And this is something you were unaware of. Something most people were unaware of. When I brought it up to you, you said, "Really?"
Really? Fascinating. I was
like that.
fascinated by
just
it.
like that.
Well, what was the first thing
Shut
you
the
said
front
to
door.
me? Yeah, well, that's, but what was the first bit you told me? I found that fascinating when every couple of years this happens.
Yeah.
And about what time does this happen?
Okay. There is a theory that that the trend happens around presidential elections. It's not entirely true because it happens at other times as well, but it seems to get a little heavy towards as you get closer to a presidential election.
Which says something about that presidential election.
Well, no, it's every presidential election since for a while now. It seems that way.
every-
It's not confirmed. It's a theory that someone has. I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head, but he even wrote a book. And one of the chapters in the book is a lot of unexplained mysteries, and one of the chapters in it is about this. This book was written a few years ago. This is called the phantom clown theory.
Okay.
And that's the term that's been coined for this, the phantom clown theory. Let's.
Oh, here you go. We'll do it the right way. Okay, we're going to sound like professionals.
I'm gonna.
Mysterious America is the book,
There you go,
and it's written by a Loren, Loren Coleman.
Loren Coleman. We'll get into a little bit of what he discusses in that book, but first, let's give you some history. Towards the end of the 20th century, clowns have experienced a shift from the role of entertainer to something more akin to fuel for nightmares, a transformation on TV and in movies from fun characters to villains, and indeed most people regard them as at the very least creepy, if not downright horrifying. In fact, the fear of clowns is so pervasive in our society that there's even a name for it, coulrophobia. In many locations throughout the United States, and even across the pond in England, there have for years been reports of mysterious phantom clowns that seem to appear without warning or reason, to terrorize locals before simply disappearing without a trace when their mischief is done. Far from an isolated case, phantom clown reports are so widespread and numerous that they have indeed become a whole bizarre area of Fortean interest in and of themselves. No one knows where these clowns come from, or why they appear, or who they are. Perhaps one of the most mysterious and infamous incidents involving phantom clowns running amok occurred in 1981, when the city of Boston, Massachusetts was held under siege by the bizarre sudden appearance of what appeared to be a cabal of individuals dressed as clowns harassing small children. a case of which was well documented by cryptozoologist Loren Coleman in his book Mysterious America. This horrific, unsettling series of phantom clown appearances started in May of 1981 when Boston police began to receive numerous reports that mysterious men brightly dressed up as clowns were riding around in a dark van, following or driving up to elementary school children and attempting to entice them to follow or go along with them. In some cases, the clowns were said to use candy or toys to help lure the children. In one particularly creepy account, one of the clowns in question was said to be dressed as a clown from the waist up and completely nude from the waist down. At around the same time, mysterious clowns were also seen in the nearby city of Brookline, where they were said to drive about in an older model black van with ladders on the side, a broken tail light, and missing hubcaps, and were most frequently seen in the vicinity of elementary schools. The reports and complaints filed concerning clowns harassing children became so persistent and provoked so much profound unease in parents that investigative counselor Daniel O'Donnell sent an urgent memo to all of the schools in the district. Before long, this flap of clown sightings had spread out to various other surrounding areas, including East Boston, Charleston, Cambridge, Canton, Randolph, and other cities near Boston. The report steadily gained momentum until sightings of creepy or evil clowns were coming in from all over New England and the Midwest, including as far away as Nebraska and Colorado. While most of these reports described a similar story of clowns driving around in a black van at night, few of the reports deviated from this and indeed had a more ominous overtone. In one case, a clown in a bright yellow van and wearing a black shirt with a devil picture on front, as well as black plants with candy canes on the side, was said to have threatened two young girls with a knife in Kansas City on May 15, 1981. The incident was witnessed by the mother, who, although she didn't see the actual clown, said the girls approached the van only to come away screaming in terror as the vehicle sped off. By noon the very same day, the yellow van clown would go on to feature in over a dozen additional sightings of apparently the same individual and vehicle prowling around a total of 6 elementary schools, and these reports would pour in around until 5 p.m. that evening, when they suddenly just stopped. Another reported around the same time from Kansas described a psychotic clown wielding a Japanese-style katana sword and threatening children to get in his van. While the clowns were mostly reported near schools or where children congregated, this was at least one creepy report of a clown lurking about a Brooklyn cemetery. Joining these mystery clown reports was another bizarre account from June 1981, describing 3 people dressed as Spider-Man, a gorilla, and a clown who tried to abduct a boy in Arlington Heights, PA. There was also reportedly a person dressed as a rabbit who was allegedly going around harassing children as well, just to make the case even more surreal than it already is. And in Providence, Rhode Island, the reports of sinister clowns were well on the radar of psychiatric social workers counseling the city's youth. Police, for their part, went about investigating numerous entertainment outfits featuring clowns, such as birthday clown businesses, but no arrests were made, nor indeed any suspects detained for questioning. In fact, not a single useful lead was turned up regarding the identity or whereabouts of the clowns. In the end, no children were actually kidnapped or injured during any of these alleged incidents. No suspects were apprehended, and it was surmised to be merely some sort of mass hysteria or overactive imaginations on the parts of these young victims, even though such reports were coming in from all over the places and eyewitnesses encompassed all age groups. Other ideas bandied about at the time were that the reports originated with some sort of demented cult or human trafficking group, but no evidence has ever surfaced to this effect. It was also suggested that the clown sightings were perhaps simply imaginary manifestations of the subconscious fear that was rolling about due to the release of Stephen King's novel It, with its infamous clown character Pennywise. But these sightings were going on well before the movie, with its disturbing clown imagery. In 1990 and 91 in particular saw a resurgence in various phantom clown reports from many areas, but such cases have continued all the way up to more recent years as well. On June 20th, 2000, a man dressed in a creepy clown costume was seen near the King James Court Apartments at around 12:30 p.m., trying to lure children into the woods with the use of 3 brightly colored helium balloons. The case is made more interesting by the fact that police later claimed the man's black face paint was unusual for a clown and set him apart from any of the three mainstream styles of clown costumery. In October of 2008, in the Wicker Park neighborhood of Chicago, phantom clowns struck again. In this case, a clown in a bright costume and wig with a prominent, colorful teardrop painted on his face was seen loitering about trying to lure young kids into a brown or dirty white van with broken-out windows. In 2013, there was a rash of crimes by what appeared to be a gang of people dressed as circus clowns in the vicinity of Manchester. Although there were the usual reports of clowns following children or attempting to entice them into vehicles, other reports were decidedly more threatening in nature. In total, there were 19 separate reports of clown-related crime during this period, ranging from theft to one that stole a bicycle after holding its owner at knife point. Several of the clowns were reported to go around using their bright get-ups to collect money for charity, only to run off with the loot to keep for themselves, and for the charity to turn out to be a non-existent sham. One of the more frightening crimes carried out by this particular phantom clown spree was an alleged full-on armed robbery committed by a posse of individuals decked out in full clown costumes, wigs, and face paint. One of the ideas is that the appearance of these clowns is subconscious human fears somehow manifesting, congealing, and projecting onto our reality. In this case, the pervasive terror that clowns invoke in so many actually creating visual constructs that others can see. This concept can be seen in both Tibetan and Indian Buddhism in the form of tulpas, which roughly translates into magical emanation, conjured thing, or phantom. Another weird theory is that the phantom clowns represent some sort of spirits or demons that rear their heads from time to time. This was mentioned by Lauren Coleman, who has done a considerable amount of investigation into the phantom clown phenomenon. Coleman speculates that these clowns are perhaps demonic tricksters that can change form and appear for the apparent purpose of intimidating or invoking fear in those who see them. Whatever the phantom clowns are, they represent a phenomenon that reaches deep down into the human psyche to prod and poke at the basest fears that lurk in the shadows of our subconscious.
So,
What do you think?
That's a lot. That's a lot to take in. There's a lot more to it than, I jokingly say, that people are paranoid and stuff like that, and it's unreasonable. It's just silly. But dirty vans, kids being lured with candy.
That's crazy.
It really is.
That's not just somebody saying I'm afraid of something that's meant to make me laugh.
No.
That is serious. We're talking serious crimes here.
Yeah.
These are attempted kidnappings, abductions, attempted whatever. I mean, chasing people with weapons and following children.
Attempted abductions.
Pedophiles we're talking about, and probably,
possible pedophiles.
Pedophiles. Let's be honest. If they're luring kids in the back of vans.
Yes, but here's the thing with it is that none of them have ever actually been abducted.
No.
Not in that point anyway. Recently, a few things have kind of begun crossing the line. There are a few isolated incidents where things actually did happen. But for the most part, for a long time, it was just
the threat.
Right.
Almost like this is like some guy, let's say someone one day decided to go out there and thought it was a great idea to scare some kids with a costume, and he just did something to literally scare the children off. And from the outside view, it looks like someone trying to lure a child into the van.
Right.
But it's quite possible they did something to get the kid's attention. The kid walked up to the van and then they scared them and they ran off. Which is possible.
Right.
Because again, no one, as we say, no one has physically seen what's happened through the exchange other than the children themselves. And as is stated, children's imagination can get a little ahead of themselves.
Yeah, it can run wild.
Well, I mean, I also think that children are very susceptible to outside influence.
Of course.
So it's almost like, I saw a clown. Next thing you know, show me on the doll where it touched you. I think that there is a bit of a panic, and especially when it comes to children, we're very protective, and rightly so.
If we're talking elementary schools, we're talking kids under 10.
Yeah, we're talking 5 to 7 is what most of the ages of reporting victims, I guess, were.
and you know, it was just some clown that was walking to a kid's birthday party, and you know, all of a sudden,
He went raw to a couple of kids, and next thing we know, he was trying to kidnap.
Maybe he had a hearty laugh, and the kid took it as he was screaming at me.
I mean, but it's beyond that. I mean, it's not just some guy walking to a kid's. I mean, literally, the clown is just standing there, and I think that's the creepiest part.
Well, that's the thing.
Just standing and staring.
Well, that's what a lot of them are now. Like, they know that there's a security camera there watching them,
Yeah.
so they just stand still for long periods of time,
And in
just
some
watch.
cases, they're holding a balloon.
They're
or
holding
something
balloon.
like that.
Sometimes they're on somebody's porch. They go to somebody's house. They stand on their lawn when they know there's a security camera there, and they just stand there. Now, to me, that just sounds like a prank. That sounds like
that sounds like a
just
prank.
doing something creepy. Well, no, some of those things where you know there's a security camera staring at you, and you purposely stand right in its line of view for 10 minutes and just hold still in the rain. That's just some creepy shit.
Yeah,
that
that's
some
creepy
homeowner looks at their security camera.
Right,
What the
right.
fuck is going on out there? Especially after like The Purge.
Yeah.
When you watch The Purge,
when you
that's
watch
what
The
most
Purge,
of that movie is people and The Purge and the strangers, things like that. Somebody just creepy standing out there
In a mask.
doing nothing, just standing in a mask staring at you.
Yeah.
Michael Myers made a fucking career off that shit.
Yeah, he did.
You
what,
know,
7,
John
8
Carpenter.
films?
Yeah,
it's-
you know,
And being the fastest walker ever.
yeah, you know, the Phantom Walk. But that's what it is. It seems like that type of thing where those incidents. I think they're really just trying to freak people out.
Yeah,
they're not doing
yeah,
anything.
They're not
having
doing
some
anything.
fun.
Yeah.
No, but even still, it takes some sort of mental something to be like, you know what? There's all these clowns in the news. I could put on a clown mask and fuck with that guy next door. Fuck him and his Christmas decorations. I'm gonna go out there and scare the fuck out of him. Like, that takes something. I mean, I don't have that kind of time and energy to be like, be standing
Well, I don't have that
somebody's
kind of
house for 10
time.
minutes.
Let alone
Well, you know
energy.
something. You know something. I'll be honest. We know people like that. Okay,
I don't know.
we know people who play character actors in movies.
Yeah, but they don't take it to their normal life.
No,
I mean, I
but
hope that,
okay,
like,
we go
our
to
friends are
now.
not
Of
like,
course,
I'm gonna
yes,
fuck with my neighbor.
All right. Admittedly, these are within certain
Yeah.
situations. When we
Yeah.
go to a horror convention,
Yeah.
the guy who we know who dresses up as John Wayne Gacy and the other one who dresses up as Pennywise, they go out into the road and they stand there and wave at cars passing
They've
by.
laid down in the street before.
Yes,
you know?
they've done this before to
Yeah,
freak out
yeah.
cars. But granted, there's
It's
a
related
horror
to an
convention
event,
going
yeah.
on inside the building. They're
Oh,
not
when
walking
I ran-
around their
when
town.
When I worked at the haunted house, I mean, we had
Yes.
character actors that would literally try and get into cabs. Like, forget it. We
Yes,
had,
they would hail down a cab
Yeah,
in
they would hail
giant
down,
fucking monster stilts
monster
and shit.
Yeah, I could just imagine the guy
forget
that's
it.
Ash, with the chainsaw hand.
Yeah.
You know,
One year they opened up.
we-
They opened up a male strip club down the block. So all the bachelorette parties would be out, and they're all in their heels and their little dresses, and the monsters would just chase these screaming girls down.
I've seen that. It's hilarious. There was the strip club right across the street too, and they would mess with people coming out from the strip club.
Right.
When the guy, because I think it was Scores, was it?
No, it was maybe it was Scores. Yeah,
It was some high class,
Yeah.
some expensive strip club where you could have a meal and shit. It was waitresses and shit would bring food to you,
Right.
And you had to pay for the club to be in there. And the haunted house was right across the street, so there's a whole line. It's hundreds of people online to get in, and these people are coming. Guys are coming out of the strip club, and they're fucking with them. They're coming up to them and they're stapling shit to their bodies and they're hanging from hooks and
God.
everything. And they're coming at these guys in giant. There was one guy who walked around on stilts. He was like
God.
a 10-foot clown.
yeah.
I've seen that guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen that guy.
And
yeah.
he would walk across the street and he'd go right up to them and he'd bend down, look in the door when it opened, stick his head in and fuck with people.
Well, a
but
lot
you know what
of
the truth is? People would then leave the club and they'd come into the haunted house because of it.
Yeah.
They would actually lure people into the house by
Yeah,
doing that.
yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about here.
No.
No, we're not talking about that.
No. That's fun and games.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of the security camera stuff is just that. It's somebody having some fun.
It's somebody
messing
fucking with
people.
somebody to have some
Have a
fun.
little bit of
But
a
it's-
twisted
maybe
sense of
make
humor.
news.
It's an unhealthy venue. It's an unhealthy venue for that. Get a job at a haunted house. You know what I'm saying? Go
It's
exercise that energy.
What are
there.
the chances, too, though, that you just have an asshole neighbor and he's got a security camera and you want to fuck with him and this is the idea that you had? That
don't
this
know.
guy has just pushed you to the point I'm going to stand in his yard and scare the shit out of him and his whole fucking family.
And he puts the video up, the 5 minutes on YouTube of you standing there like an asshole neighbor, you know? And
then he calls the cops on him because he's like, my fucking asshole neighbor is standing outside scaring the shit out of my fucking kids right now.
Yeah.
And the next thing we know, the cops are saying we got another clown sighting. Yeah. But there's a whole story to this. These two neighbors have been feuding like the fucking Clampetts and the whatever.
One person has a problem with his kids.
We got
one
the Mason-Dixon line happening here in Providence.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the news isn't going to pick up that part because it's not interesting.
No, it's not.
You know,
it's just not.
I mean, yeah, there's got to be some also partial like 5 minutes of fame, you know, where it's like, is my neighbor going to put this up on YouTube?
Yeah.
And then you know that, and you have that secret thrill. I mean, I there's got to be some cases of that, I'm sure.
And then there's the people
just
that
ended. She just stopped. Right?
Yeah, and then there's the people that are doing it on purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have the video
There are.
cameras. I'm going to dress up like a clown and stand here
And be
then
part of this.
Yeah, and you're going to, put it on YouTube. Oh yeah. Well, definitely, and we'll get a bunch of hits, and
And I'm sure there's at least some half retarded artists out there who's like, it's performance art.
Yeah, but you know something? Even like if it's performance art, they admit that, and you know it.
Like that girl in the subway with the bugs.
Yeah, you find out that it's performance art. They make it a public thing because eventually they get arrested and they go, whoa, no,
Yeah,
this is a
eventually
public art piece.
some very smart cop is like, wait a minute, there's way too many cameras on this. And this looks like it's professionally filmed.
Yeah.
Like this isn't somebody on the subway freaking out.
Because if you're going to do something like that, you want people to document it.
Yeah.
So you're going to do a public performance art piece. You're going to get a good 10 people to show up with their social media the hell out of this and get people to show up with their cell phones.
Right.
And publicize.
And once one person sees somebody filming,
Yeah.
everybody else is like, I should be filming this.
Precisely. This is we're not talking that's not that's a far cry from somebody
sure
standing in a
some of these cases could also be a side of that.
I'm sure that they possibly could be, and again they get lost in the shuffle of everything. It just gets chalked up to another one.
There's differentiating the public art piece, performance art, the fun, YouTube sightings.
The guy who's just thinking it's fun to mess with people.
It's funny, let's do this for kicks,
and
shits and giggles.
And then there's the van pulling up to an elementary school.
That's pulling up to the school and dressed up in the filthy rabbit costume, and he's like, what's up, kid?
Yeah. What was with that rabbit thing? Before we get into the clown thing, before we get too heavy into the clown, there was that one rabbit
the bunny
incident.
Man.
Yes, the bunny man is
the bunny man. Now the bunny man, interestingly enough, is older than the Phantom Clown.
Huh.
And what's really interesting about the Bunny Man case, first off, it happened in Fairfax, Virginia.
Now, before we go any farther, anybody who searches creepy images on the internet is going to find that image of the guy in the bunny suit dragging a girl into a house. It's a black and white photo. He's going up the ramp of a house and he's dragging her body into it. That's not real.
No.
That has nothing to do with this. There's a lot of urban legends out there, the whole creepypasta thing. They've told stories of this. That was just a photo shoot that guy did, and it was only a few years old, and they aged the photos to make them look like some old thing. Again, that was performance art.
Yeah, that was performance
That
art.
was an artistic photo shoot they did of this guy in a bunny suit kidnapping, and you can't tell what the girl's wearing. The girl is wearing a costume of some sort too, where they go together. I think that what was the tale of the rabbit? What's the rabbit folk tale? The Grimm's fairy tale, one of those types of things about a rabbit and another character.
There's Peter Rabbit. There's
No. Something like if he was in a wolf costume, then she was dressed as Little Red Riding Hood. This one happened to be dressed as a rabbit. There was another character that went with it.
The tortoise and the hare. That's all.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was, but the girl was dressed as a certain character, and it was almost like the rabbit's revenge was what the photo shoot was about. You can't tell the costume she's wearing because it's black and white and everything, but when you see the other photos, you see, oh, she's in a costume too, and it's just just to make that fucking clear, this has nothing to do with that. That was just a photo shoot.
No.
All the stories you've heard about that photo are completely untrue.
Most times when you do a blank Google search, you aren't going, if you find something dark and demented looking or looks like somebody's killing somebody, that's not what it is.
The Google shot of the pier that it looks like somebody dragged a body. The truth is, the guy was walking with his dog. His dog was in the water. The dog came out, and he walked up the pier. And there's a long trail of water down
Right.
the pier, and it darkened. But from the Google map, it looks like looks like somebody dragged a dead body. And the body was bleeding across the whole pier, and he threw it into the water. That's what it looks like, and that's what people called it. But it's just some guy with his wet dog walking along a pier.
You know, there's a lot of stuff like that. You know, yes, there's some dark shit on the internet, usually sex involved.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
People get off on the weirdest
What?
things.
There's sex stuff on the
There's
internet?
sex stuff on the internet.
The hell you say?
Yeah, the body parts on
Where?
women, which don't belong on
Is this-
women.
wait. Is this on my internet, too?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
But
Wow, maybe
usually
we're
when-
using
You know
the same
what?
internet.
Forget this podcast.
I'm going to get on the internet.
I'm gonna get on the internet.
But yeah, if you do a blank search online, you're not going to find,
Real.
stuff.
No.
No.
So tell us about the Bunny Man.
Oh, yeah, so the Bunny Man. Like I said, the Bunny Man is actually older than the clowns. It happened in 1970.
Wow.
A full
this is
11 years.
11 years before the clowns started.
This one started in Fairfax County, Virginia. And what's really interesting in this one, pretty much, it's another one of those legends. It involves a man wearing a rabbit costume who attacks people with an axe or a hatchet.
Wow.
And what's really interesting about this one is the very first sighting is a U.S. Air Force Academy cadet, which usually these guys are...
He saw it?
He saw it.
Okay.
It happened October 19th, 1970. Him and his fiance were visiting relatives and were returning home from a football game. They parked their car in a field. Nobody says why, but they parked.
I know why.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow.
As they sat in
They
the
were being
front-
chased by a man with a hook hand.
No, there's no hook hand. As they sat in the front seat with the motor running, they noticed something moving outside their rear window.
A man with a hook hand.
Moments later, the front passenger window was smashed, and there was a white-clad figure standing near the broken window. He turned around, and the man began screaming about trespassing. "You're on private property, and I have your tag number." They drove down the road and stopped a little later on to catch their breath, and they noticed a hatchet was laying...
Wait. They drove and had to catch their breath?
They drove later, and they stopped a little further away.
Why would they have to
calm
catch
down.
their breath?
I don't
Because
know.
they were
They were scared.
And
They were
strange
scared
word,
shitless
strange
because they
wording.
were nude and they were being chased off somebody's property.
They stopped them with their clothes back
They
on.
got
What do you want
startled.
from me?
How would you feel if you had your pants around your ankles, your chick was blowing you, and somebody said, "Hey, you, hey, you guys."
trespassing.
But the guy's in a rabbit costume.
No, that wasn't the rabbit costume guy.
Yeah, it was.
That was was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, so they stopped and they found a hatchet laying on the car floor from the broken window.
Wow. So this guy threw a hatchet
Threw a
into
hatchet
the window.
through their window, yeah.
Oh, I missed that
Holy
part.
shit.
I
No, it
missed
said
that.
it was a broken window when they stopped. They realized there's a hatchet in our back seat.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
So-
not that it says it, but was this the side window or the back window? Just out of stupid curiosity. Does it say? The rear window or the
Front
side?
passenger window was smashed.
The front. Oh, so they were in the back seat more than likely.
No, obviously they drove away very quickly, so he had to have been in the front.
Okay. Wow, that hatchet almost fucking killed this girl then.
Yeah, it almost killed this girl. So when the police requested a description from him, he insisted that he was wearing a white suit with long bunny ears. But his fiance remembered something that looked closer to a Ku Klux Klan hood. But they both clearly remember seeing his face,
Which was a bunny.
which was a bunny. Now, a second one, this is really what captures me about the Bunny Man. The second one happened 10 days later with a security guard.
Huh.
A security guard approached a man who was sitting on the porch of an unfinished home. He was wearing a gray, black, and white bunny costume and was about 20 years old, 5 feet 8 inches tall, and weighed about 175 pounds. The man began chopping at a porch post with a long-handled axe, saying, "All you people trespass here. If you don't get out of here, I'm going to bust you in the head."
What?
Yeah. The police opened investigations into both incidents, but eventually had to close them due to lack of evidence. In the following weeks, more than 50 people contacted the police claiming to have seen the Bunny Man. One of the incidents reported was the Bunny Man eating a man's runaway cat.
What?
What is this sick shit?
What the fuck?
Yeah. So all
fucking
all
hungry, I
in,
guess.
they chronicled about...
Now, did he cook up the cat or was it raw?
Doesn't say.
Was the cat still alive? I mean, there was a runaway cat. He just said, "I caught him."
Was he twitching?
Wow.
Now, they're unsubstantiated, but there's also been claims that during this time, locals allegedly found hundreds of cleanly skinned, half-eaten carcasses of rabbits hanging from trees in the area.
Well, that could have been a local werewolf.
Revenge?
That could have been a local werewolf.
So the police did a further search, and they found the same kind of rabbit carcasses hanging from a nearby tree or under a bridge pass. That bridge later became known as Bunnyman Bridge.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know how to respond to any of this.
Fucking wow. Okay, so the bunny was first and was completely insane.
Yeah.
Now, are these all in the same area?
This is all Virginia.
All Virginia.
Mm-hmm, Virginia.
So, okay, and this was within how long of a time period?
All in October of 1970.
So it's quite possible it was the same person then.
Yeah.
And it's quite possible that it wasn't a bunny costume. Because it was mentioned
No,
that it was...
No. She said that she remembers it looked like a clan. He said he remembers ears, but she remembers a clan hood. But one way or another, they both agreed that the face was a rabbit face. Yeah. He had a mask of a rabbit on. Whether or not he had ears or a hood on top was debatable between the two of them. But they both agree on a bunny face.
No, interestingly enough, this also happened. This is based on a legend from 1904. There was an asylum prison. I don't know what an asylum prison is.
You don't know what an asylum is?
I know what an asylum is, and I know what a prison is. I don't know what an asylum prison is.
Criminally insane.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
You know.
I would just call that an asylum.
You know,
I don't
Arkham Asylum?
Yeah, well, that's an asylum, not an asylum prison.
It's a prison.
An asylum is for crazy people.
Listen,
I
grew up from an asylum for the criminally insane.
They called
right
it
down the road.
Yeah, well, they called it
That's
Arkham.
what they called it.
They called it Arkham Asylum, but everybody was there put by Batman because they were criminals. He wasn't just running around going, "You're fucking crazy, I'm throwing you in there." No, they had to do something first.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Back to your story.
Okay, so in 1904, an asylum prison in Clifton, Virginia, was shut down in Fairfax County. During the transfer of the inmates to a new facility, one of 15 transports crashed, and most, including the driver, were killed, but 10 escaped. A search party found all but one of them. During the search for this one escapee, the locals found the rabbit carcasses hanging from trees and bridges.
Trees and bridges. Okay.
A search of the area was ordered, and the police located the remains of Marcus Walster, left hanging in a similar fashion to the rabbit carcasses hanging from a nearby tree or a bridge overpass, which was known as the Bunnyman Bridge. Along the railroad tracks, the officials found the last missing inmate, Douglas Griffin, as a suspect called him the Bunnyman. In another version of the tale, officials were able to find Griffin, but during their attempt to apprehend him at the overpass, he escapes by being nearly hit by an oncoming train. They say after the train passed, the police heard laughter coming from the site. It was eventually revealed that Griffin was institutionalized for killing his family and children on Easter Sunday.
Wow.
So now they say for many years after the Bunnyman's death, right around Halloween, carcasses are found to be hanging from the overpass and in surrounding areas.
That's kind of funny, too, because back to the clowns, in the 80s, there was something that happened, which is this incident that happened across the country, where dozens, possibly hundreds of mental hospitals were shut down because of their treatment of the patients. And a lot of those patients were just set out on the street.
Like Cropsy. Cropsy was coming to kill you.
Yeah. So one of the beliefs is that a lot of these guys may be prisoners that were released, because this is when it happened in the early 80s, and that's when it got popular. That's when the clown thing started happening, that it's quite possible that these guys were actually crazy criminals who were just released on the street, had nowhere else to go.
Well, I mean, also really big in the 80s, too. We had the Satanic Panic.
But that's what the Satanic Panic was. The Satanic Panic came from the repressed memory therapy,
right? Which
turned out to be total bullshit, you know. But that has has nothing to do with the clowns.
Well, no, I was saying with the satanic panic, I mean, everybody was out to get the children.
On high alert, yeah.
Yeah, everybody was out to get the children. Everybody was after your kids. Everybody had horrible, horrible thoughts of what they were going to do to your children. And they were going to take them, and they were going to, I don't even know, kill them, molest them, take their blood, I don't know, sacrifice them to Satan. And everything and anything could and would happen to your children.
Yeah. So that was one of the beliefs that was what was happening. Now, here's what I find really interesting about this is how we're investigating these claims of clowns trying to abduct children, pulling up to schools in vans. One of these vans had ladder on the side. You know, these vans were noticeable and recognizable, but none of these people have ever been caught.
No.
How do you not know, hey, we're looking for a guy with a black van that's got a ladder on the side?
That's pretty specific.
You know? And he just so happens to be dressed like a clown. Well, my fucking neighbor's got a black van with a ladder on the side and he does kids' parties. You know? Or he dressed up as a clown last Halloween. You know? Or he doesn't have a fucking job. He's got nothing else to do. He was locked up last year. The mental hospital's closed down. Now he lives here, and he's got a black van. Or there's the other one with the yellow van. These vans sound very like okay, the plain white van is something that a lot of that was indicative of the child molester because it was so nondescript. Yeah. But these are not nondescript vans. They had very specific. One of them, when it said the broken window, and the
taillight,
the taillight was out, and it's like
no hubcaps.
Yeah, exactly. We have a very, very specific description of one of these vans. How do you not say, "Hey, that's that fucker right there"?
From the feeling too.
Like, what did the van come out of hell, go after some kids, and then drive right back down when it left? I mean,
but the other thing too, when looking into this, you start to realize there's not a lot of police reports of these incidents.
Yeah.
It comes from people, it comes from schools, it comes from school memos. You know, it just kind of seemed like the police were a little dismissive.
Yeah.
Almost like they were like, this is coming from a 5-year-old kid. Like, how serious are we going to be about this?
How can we take
But the truth
other
is, we're
thing,
looking
too,
at dozens of cases over.
But like we were talking about this morning, the big thing in the 80s is we didn't have 24-hour news networks. We didn't really have a lot of nationwide coverage. It was a lot of local news.
There wasn't
it was based
a lot
on
of
newspapers.
cameras and stuff like that.
Yeah, but police did talk to each other.
Yeah, police did talk to each other.
And so did
But, you know,
districts.
if you call up, well, I've heard you've got a lot of reports of clowns. Yeah, but I ain't found shit. Okay. You know, like, that could be a conversation that the police were having. Is that I'm not finding anything. I'm hearing this thing. I think people are just...
like it said, they thought people were just a little. Police seemed to. They dismissed it as maybe this kid was just a little.
Yeah.
He was being exaggerated, and the mother is panicking because the kid is exaggerating about something that didn't actually happen the way it happened.
Right.
The one about the clown who's wearing a clown suit from up and naked underneath. That's okay. What? That's fucking crazy. But again, that sounds like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
That sounds like a crazy person.
That specifically sounds like a crazy person.
What we need to do is start talking to women. See who are the crazy fuckers that they have dated and show them dick pics. Do you recognize these balls?
No, that's the problem. Because if that's like an old dick that you've already had, you're going to see a picture and you're like, no, that's too big.
The thing is that these are going to be people. Yeah, okay. These are going to be people that aren't exposed to sex with women.
It's true too.
That is a very good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That is very, very high possibility.
We just need to start asking
virgins. We need to start asking virgins.
Well, no,
canvas the area.
Chicken fuckers.
Canvas.
Pig fuckers.
What was the last
Excuse me,
time?
Mr. Sheep.
When was the last time you had a human person? Well.
Excuse me, Mr. Goat. Can I call you Billy? Have you seen this man?
That's the thing. We're not talking about people that have normal sex.
No.
Okay? People have sex in a lot of different ways. All right? I mean, they do. There are people that dress up like clowns.
So you've heard.
So wait a minute. Maybe didn't the Clown Motel shut down recently?
No, Clown Motel is still open.
It's still open. Okay.
Clown Motel is open as fuck.
Yes. There are people that, get together for the fuzzies.
Look, if their
Listen,
furries
let's
can
just-
exist, I'm sure there are plenty of
If
people.
Mr. Hands could find a bunch of friends to hang
Holy
out with.
God.
I'm still obsessed with Mr. Hands.
I am not.
He found friends.
He found friends.
If
If he
Mr.
can find
Hands has friends, then your crazy neighbor with the clown fetish,
Listen,
he's got friends too.
We live in a world where
Facebook can be a very dark place too.
yeah. All right. We have all sorts of sexual identifications.
Love is love. Love will conquer
Well, when you
all.
say it like that,
Then the clowns don't seem so bad, huh? Love is love.
But that's the thing. We have to label now the fear of clowns, and if you're sexually attracted with the fear, I mean,
coulrophobia would be the
Sex, they're
fear.
easily
I
confused.
guess enjoying them would be coulrophilia, when you want to fuck nothing but clowns. Erik is
I'm just,
contemplating that thought.
yeah.
Do you have a thing for clowns?
No,
No, you don't have red nose at home.
no.
Those big feet.
Which is
These
funny,
big
now
feet,
that I
these
think about
big
it.
feet.
Which is funny. What was that red nose campaign last year?
That was for kids.
I understand that. It was for some children's charity. And they were selling red noses.
Yeah, they did it again this
How
year.
creepy is that now?
After this conversation today, it's very fucking creepy. It's very fucking creepy.
I don't know. The one thing that gets me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking through my childhood. I'm really thinking hard, like while doing this research, and I'm like, I don't remember a lot of exposure. Like we were saying earlier, like I don't think I've ever been to one birthday party with a clown. Am I alone in that?
I was never invited to birthday parties. I didn't have friends.
I really didn't go to birthday parties.
I didn't have
so
friends.
sad.
I didn't
I'm an
have
only child.
birthday parties. I think I had one birthday party. It was at
But like,
Chuck
I mean,
E.
even when
Cheese.
you go to the car dealership or whatever, because like they're giving shit away, or the banks, they're giving shit away. I didn't even see clowns there.
Why would there be a clown at the card
At the
dealership?
bank.
At the bank? There's
Yeah.
clowns at the bank?
According to your wife.
Dude, listen, I've signed up for when I was in college, I signed up for bank accounts just to get a free toaster.
Okay.
Okay, and they
Whatever.
had like a whole events. They had burgers.
Did
there
the
was
clown
fries.
give you the
And there were
toaster?
characters.
Why would
There's
there-
characters at banks.
But
and
was there a
things.
clown?
No, that's what
Why
I'm
would
saying.
there
Never
be
a
a clown?
clown.
Why
There's
would
been
there be
Dora
a
the
clown?
Explorer. Why the fuck was Dora the Explorer there? I have no idea.
To get the kids to go, Mom, look, it's Dora. And then the parents have to go over, take a
But
picture.
then why not a clown? I mean,
Because Dora
it's
is
in
a
movies.
licensed
In
thing that
movies,
makes-
people have clowns in their kids' parties.
Because people know that there's.
I don't know. I've never been to one party with a
Have
clown.
you ever seen Sloppy the Psychotic?
Yes, I've seen Sloppy the
That's
Psychotic.
crazy. What Mumbles the Clown also, and Vulgar. For
yeah.
God's sake, why would you want anything to do with a clown in your bank?
But it's like, but then everybody says,
But there's
well,
not a whole
he
group of-
himself-
but the point
he
is, there's
himself
not a
said,
whole group of people out there who have a giant
no, this
fear of
poor
Dora the
clown is just
Explorer.
trying to get to a kid's birthday party. And we just accepted that. We didn't argue him. We didn't question him.
Because that's what they do.
no, they
do.
don't. I've never been to one. We need a poll. Like we need to open up our Twitter or something.
Have you ever
People
been
need
to a birthday
report
party with a clown? How many people have actually been to a clown birthday party?
Yeah.
But we know people who've done that.
No, we don't. Not with clowns.
Henry's never dressed as a clown for a
No.
birthday party?
No.
I could swear I know somebody who's
I've
done
seen
it.
them at the Big Apple
Jennifer.
Circus.
Jennifer does face painting as a clown.
Jennifer who?
Valdez.
See?
I guess she does it.
See?
I've never been to one though.
Well, you're going to have to go to one of her parties.
I'm gonna have to go to one of her parties. Jennifer, just send the invite. I'll show up because I really need to
She
experience
needs proof. She needs
a birthday
proof
party with a clown.
That birthday parties invite clowns.
I need proof. Like when I was younger, my dad actually rented a Cookie Monster costume
Oh, for God's sake.
for my sister's birthday party. Like I've seen that. We've seen people dress up as Santa. I've seen that. But like clowns,
I've dressed
never
up as
seen
Santa.
It. Yeah, that's a normal thing. My
For money,
grandfather
you know.
I don't do costumes.
I got $125 for 15 minutes worth of work.
Well, there you go. That's
Sweet.
I would do that. Fuck
Yeah. I would do that again.
Fuck it. Pin me, pay me. I'm job squad. All
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah, you get your belly back.
I'm trying to lose this. I've been on the treadmill for the past couple of weeks.
That's a long time to be on one treadmill.
Thanks for getting off the treadmill to come here.
Laugh it up, guys. Laugh it up.
Oh, I will. So, we have
Oh, wait, I have a fun fact.
Oh, how fun is this fact?
So if you go to Stephen King's own website, stephenking.com, and you check out his inspiration.
You're pushing Stephen King, but not us.
I wanted to prove that I went to the stephenking.com.
Oh, okay.
And if you read his inspiration behind, the story of his inspiration behind it, he does not credit any of these phantom clowns, but he does mention that he wrote the book in the summer of 1981.
When the first clown incidents were happening. He was writing this at the time. So rather than the hysteria coming from the clown, like people have, coming from it, like people have claimed, it's actually the other way around. It seems that he wrote the book after this shit started happening. And he's a New Englander. He's in Maine.
Right.
You know, so this was happening in his local news. Mostly local. I mean, it was Rhode Island and Boston and stuff like that. But
Which is
in the
local.
backyard.
Again, New England. Yeah. So he probably would have heard about it back then.
He would have been,
We have so more recently, we're seeing this popping up all over the place again.
Yep.
It seems to happen. There's a theory that it happens around presidential elections. It's not exclusive to that. I believe it's also Lauren Stockard Channing's Lauren Coleman's theory. That presidential elections seem to amp it up. It doesn't seem to fall because there's so many incidents. If you go to his website,
I actually made a list.
Yeah, if you go to his website, he details it along with a lot of other things that he researches, but he keeps a track of them. But it happens so often that he seems to stop tracking them all like regularly on his blog, and he just tends to post in December 15 creepiest clown-related incidents of the year. So there's so many this happens so often that he can do a top 10 at the end of every year, and he's done it for the last 4 or 5 years or so.
Right.
He's been running the blog since about 2006. So before 2011, it was just as they popped up, it would happen, and you'd see 10, 20 different posts throughout the course of the year if you look through his blog.
Right.
Now he just does one summary because it's just so exhaustive. The most recent one was strange. Weird that this would happen, but it doesn't seem like it's just coincidentally some kid was wearing a clown mask, and I guarantee he was wearing. This was about 4 days ago, so this was September 28th or so.
Yeah.
On September 28th or so, there was a kid who was apparently wearing a clown mask and got into some sort of fight. I wanted to look this up and get some more information on it, but a kid with a clown mask got into a fight with some other kids, and the kid with the clown mask stabbed another kid to death, and now the cops are looking for him. So technically, we have
a murder.
Yeah.
By someone in a clown mask.
Yeah.
Now, interesting that you should bring that up. I actually have another one, an older one. This happened in May 26, 1990 in Wellington, Florida. This one's pretty creepy.
They said 1990 and 91. It got pretty crazy. So 1990 was just preceding that.
Yeah. So in Wellington, Florida, Marlene Warren opened her front door to see a brown-eyed clown bearing flowers and balloons. It shot her in the face, drove off in a Chrysler LeBaron, and was never seen again. To this day, her murder remains unsolved.
How many people in a Chrysler LeBaron have a gun and a clown costume? I'm just trying to figure out.
At least one.
At least one. But that's what I'm trying to say. How is it so impossible to find these people?
Fuck if I know. Honestly, I
mean, it was 91, so we didn't have forensics then as we do now. It wasn't ridiculous, but again, it was.
I mean,
a witness knew this was a Chrysler LeBaron.
It was pretty specific.
That was very specific. They knew the car that this guy drove.
Yeah.
How do they not find the guy? They knew the car. They obviously know the make and model of the gun based on the bullet. They know they can figure out what he used. Cross-reference the people who own that gun with the people who own a Chrysler LeBaron, and you found them. You know, how many people could that be?
Sounds simple enough.
It does.
It sounds like you should go into forensics.
In theory, I should write for SVU.
Yeah.
You know, I should be writing if anybody hires. Yeah. I should be writing for TV because I solved it in 5 minutes. It takes them 53. So,
but yeah, no, I mean,
Ice-T would be proud.
yeah, no, he would. But yeah, no, I mean, it seems what happens in this world is just in general crazy. I mean, we say creepy. That's the theme of the show, but it's really kind of crazy how much goes wrong in this world. Logically, you think clowns.
Yeah.
People should be on the lookout for clowns. There's my neighbor.
What's
he dressed up as a clown for?
What's he doing?
He doesn't work for the circus.
Over there?
He doesn't work for anything.
Cup of haters over here.
Okay.
Look at him.
He's got his painter van, with
With
things
a ladder
up,
on the side.
with the ladder on the side,
Broken taillight.
and he's got a clown costume. Huh.
What do you know?
And my wife said that she saw him at the grocery store buying bags and bags of candy. It's
And formaldehyde. It's
and chloroform.
And lie.
yeah, and it's like we have this
digging in his yard
instinct.
last night.
Yeah, we have this instinct to keep to ourselves.
Looks like he's putting in a pool.
It's a small pool. 6 foot by
It's a
6
kiddie
foot.
pool. It's a kiddie pool. All right.
And he doesn't have any kids.
Red flag.
How about that? Maybe it's a hot tub.
He's writing free candy on the side of his van.
And the E is backward.
Oh my god. Oh my god. But honestly, I would like to see the people in the world look out for others. Just look out, keep on a lookout and make phone calls. And the police to be less lazy when they get those phone calls. I'm sure that they get them a bunch every day.
Police this year, the police are taking it very seriously.
Yeah.
There's been, they call it the phantom clown theory because of the fact that for so many years, no one was ever caught or arrested, convicted, nothing. They've never caught anyone who's in relation to any of these incidents. And that's why they call it the phantom clown theory, the fact that these people pop up, they do this for a while, and then they just disappear. And that's it. How do you go all this time, all these different crimes that have happened, and we've only scratched the surface here. There is a ton of them.
Yeah.
And for a long time, nobody was arrested. Recently, the police have gotten very adamant about it, and when they find someone, when there's a sighting or someone sees someone in a clown uniform, the cop comes up with a reason to arrest them then and there. Oh, jaywalking, come with me. They just anything they can do because this is a possible threat. It's like when they see a guy in a turban. Yeah, it's like when they see a guy in a turban and a beard. Yeah. Oh, you know what?
Cylindrical bag.
Give me get over here.
He's dressed as a clown. It's not Halloween.
Yeah. He's walking. He's standing in the middle of a field. He's got blood on his shirt. Maybe
that's
no bird watching around
he's
here.
He's wearing a red nose, and it's not Red Nose Day.
So right now there have been quite a few people who've been arrested, but I don't think anybody's had charges put on them yet. But the police are taking it seriously, seemingly for the first time in 30-some odd years.
I mean,
that's because of
with the age of the internet, there's a lot of criminals who are taking advantage of this.
Oh, yes.
Out in Phoenix, there is a number of bank robberies that are happening with people in clown masks.
Well, I mean, they could have just watched Point Break.
They could have just watched Point Break, but
decided, well, the presidents have been
the remake did come out recently.
Well, they said the presidents have been done, so and who can really take the place of Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves? Really?
Well, I watched the new one. I
didn't, because no one can take the place of Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves. Did you not hear what I just said?
No, I heard it, and I watched the new one, and it was not the original at all.
No, I was aware of that from the trailer. I said, well, it looks like they just made a movie about some people skydiving and running bombs and robbing banks, and just slapped the name on it. Yeah. Said, hey, this looks familiar. And they slapped the name on it. What were they? They were they were skydivers instead of surfers, something like that.
They were just extreme sport.
That's
guys.
It. They were a bunch of guys with GoPros,
and they traveled the world. They were doing I forgot what they were calling it. but it was it was like 5 missions, and they had to do something
Stupid and shitty and waste of your time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even remember the plot.
You're wasting our time right now.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So, back to the clowns.
Most recently, Chicago and Long Island have closed down their schools for a day.
Which is what prompted us to do this, because the clowns are now here in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The clowns have
And,
made it to New York.
nothing shakes New Yorkers except clowns, apparently.
Really?
I don't know.
Well, I think terrorists, but you
No,
know,
we just went to the bar after the bombs, but these clowns are shutting shit down.
It's crazy.
But yeah, no, apparently a woman was on her porch at 4 a.m. smoking a cigarette. A clown attacked her and then told her he was going to target high school and elementary schools. Wow. So they shut down the schools for an entire day.
I'd like to see a clown fuck with today's high school student.
There was one woman who was apparently attempted a clown with a machete.
Jeez.
Attempted to drag her into the woods, and she got away. So it's going beyond just children. These clowns are fucking with people.
Yeah.
And what does that say about today's world? Society.
We're very unoriginal with our costumes.
Well, it does, because clowns have been around forever, and we're only now turning them into suicidal.
They're tarnishing the memory of Buster Keaton.
Oh man, so you guys want to hear my favorite letter?
Your favorite letter?
My favorite report of a cop.
Your favorite letter?
Clown.
My favorite letter is E.
My favorite letter from a clown. This happened in 1991. It came from West Orange, New Jersey. It was postmarked June 12th. My mom teaches school in South Orange, New Jersey, and the kids at school are all terrified by the rumor that there is someone dressed as a clown driving around kidnapping children. The story has grown to the point where the clown has a name. Homie the clown. And now they're saying...
Wait. What year was this?
1991.
You do know who Homie the Clown is?
Yes, I do.
You don't. I mean, you. Homie, don't play that.
Homie don't play that. Was he running around slapping people in the head with a bowling pin too? No.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that was my favorite letter.
For you younger folks out there, Homie the Clown was played by Damon Wayans on In Living Color. And he was probably the greatest party clown in the history of party clowns.
He always did the same bit on the show.
Yes, it was great.
And it was great every time. He would hit the kids in the head with,
I think it was an inflatable bowling pin or the
chicken.
The chicken, yeah, something like that. He had something he would. Homie, don't play that. And he'd smack him in the head with it, and it was the funniest goddamn thing. Was that the end of the letter? Because we just
pretty much
we just destroyed any place where this is going to go.
Called the Homie the Clown. Continue.
That's pretty much.
It ended right there. Called the Homie the Clown. Sincerely.
And now they are saying there are a whole bunch of clowns riding around in a van. The next day, the Star Ledger ran an article headlined "Child Abducting Clown Rumor Persistent in Plaguing Essex Town."
And it rhymes too.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, newspapers had to be
Homie the Clown.
Witty. An East Orange police officer commented, "It just spread from one kid to another and continued until there was a kind of hysteria." One child who later retracted his story told the police that the clown was holding a machete in one hand and an Uzi machine gun in the other and fired 5 shots at him before he drove off with his book bag.
It was always Uzi and machetes back in the day.
How hard is it to find the guy who owns an Uzi?
It was always Uzis and machetes back in the day.
What did this kid have in his book bag that requires a machete and an Uzi?
Back in the 90s, everybody had an Uzi
It was all
and machete.
Uzis. Yeah, it was an Uzi. You wanted an Uzi. Everybody wanted. My favorite gun is an Uzi. I love an Uzi. No,
it was not. But
there was a Lisa Frank limited edition Uzi back then. You remember the Trapper Keepers with the unicorns? And
Homie, don't play that. To surmise, in summarization, in an ending,
Yeah.
I don't even know.
The clowns are in New York.
The clowns are
Where
in
do
New
we
York.
go from there? Where do we
Clowns
go
are in
from
New
there?
York. They're named Homie. I don't know. Homie don't play that.
So, if you see a clown,
Run.
run. Well,
No, fuck that. Take a goddamn picture,
take a picture
send it to the police,
and then hit him with your phone.
then hit him with the phone and say,
Well.
homie, don't play that.
There's an idea.
That's right.
That's going to do it for us here at Channel X. I don't think we can top that one.
I don't think either. I don't need after that last story and wrapping this up.
So we'll take you out with some music from Without You, I'm Hunting Them. Be on the lookout as of the next week or so. We will be uploading the first episode of our new show, Dark Jails, from Channel X. There is unfortunately no clown in there, but there is a creepy character. So check that out on our website, massgravepictures.com. Go pick up some music from Without You, I'm Hunting Them at wekeepoddhours.bandcamp.com. Enjoy the hell out of that music because David's pretty fucking awesome. And if you see any clowns, hit him in the head and say, homie, don't play that. Until next time on Channel X, this is us signing off. Good night and good luck, ladies and gentlemen.